Good morning or afternoon, everybody. Well, I had a little Facebook glitch, so I apologize that this didn't go live on time. But that's what business is about, all these little glitches, right? And how we can survive them. So, Desire to Inspire is here to help you, right? To help you in all different ways in life. And it is my honor and pleasure, occasionally to come on live and to bring special guests and to have them not only inspire you, but to teach you, right? And so today I have somebody that I have actually been following for quite a while because I've learned a lot from her in business. And in a moment, I'm going to bring her on, okay? So I want to tell you a little bit about this woman first, because, if you're like me in business, and I've had lots of businesses in life and I change them. And sometimes I think, oh my God, I'm on the wrong path. I'm overwhelmed. Maybe I don't know how to structure the business. I work with clients who are entrepreneurs and have businesses and they don't even know how to figure some things out. So today I decided we need an expert. We need an award-winning marketing and media strategist who really knows all the loops out there. So everybody that's live, thank you for coming on. Glad we got this going live. Now, let's give a big warm welcome, everybody, to Patty Farmer, our marketing and media strategist here today on Desire to Inspire.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for doing round two, because like we were saying a little bit earlier, things come up in business, right? And we have to be prepared. And we were talking a little bit, everybody, actually about social media and these lives when we realized it wasn't going live. So we are back. We got some comments here. So, bonsoir, Christine, all the way from France. We're so glad you are here. And Michaela, been connecting with you for a while, but never heard you speak. Oh, good. So yes, it's wonderful to meet Patty, isn't it? Patty is going to give us lots of tips. We actually were already talking about a few of them. But Patty, I want you to share with the audience what inspired you to become a marketing strategist.
So I've always been really excited about marketing. I think it's really important to know how to position yourself in the marketplace, right? I think that's really important to be able to do that so that you can promote yourself effectively. And back in the day, I was in the mortgage industry and I also was in marketing. So I did both of those things. When my husband and I moved to Dallas in 2008, we all know what happened in 2008, right? That's when the big mortgage meltdown happened. We were able to get out of there right before that happened. So thank you for that. But then I just really realized that I loved the marketing purpose, right? The marketing part of it was always my favorite part, and that I'm an educator at heart, and that I really love being able to explain to people that these are the different things that could happen, right? And what is it that they should be doing to get what results? And I find that so many people do spaghetti marketing, which for me is like they just throw everything against the wall, see what sticks. And really, honestly, that's not very effective. It's much smarter, more effective. It will actually help you so much more if you literally learn how to market and media. And media is like social media and new media. It's both. There's a lot of ways out there to leverage the media. And in order for you to master your marketing, leverage the media, and monetize your business, you really need to be doing both. They kind of go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I agree. I love your spaghetti analysis because I have seen that so often. And I've done it too in the past, when I was young and wanted to be an entrepreneur. But you used an important word, leverage. And I would love for you to talk a little bit more in detail to our audience. Hi, everybody, about what leverage means in our business environment today, because it's different than it was 20 or 30 years ago.
Absolutely. I believe that in today's business environment, relationships are the currency. Right? So with that in mind, leveraging becomes even more important. So by definition, leverage means being able to utilize something to its maximum advantage. And so right now, the biggest advantage we have are the people we know, are the people in our network, right? So I always like to say your network is your bank account,
Yes.
But if you do it built on service and relationships, it can also be your retirement account. So leverage is so incredibly important to be able to do. So you need to just be thinking about everything you do. So
Well,
we've all, go ahead.
Christine who's on here, she offers French classes online all the way from France. And we've been working together to help support each other and leverage that relationship. So is that a piece of it?
Oh, of course it's a piece of it. You know, we're always talking about content. You create content, you curate content, you repurpose content. The same thing is in everything else you do. So in your marketing and in your media, you should be doing exactly the same thing, leveraging it. Who else serves the exact market that you do so that you can actually leverage each other's network? And right now, when we have Facebook groups, Facebook pages, LinkedIn groups, all these communities we have, who has a community that has your ideal right fit client in there that you can get in front of their audience and they can get in front of yours? So you're actually serving each other. It's a win-win-win for you, for them, and for that audience in so many ways. Speaking, book marketing, you know, interviews, in every single thing you do right now, there is a way to leverage it and to leverage it in a way that makes it a win-win-win for everyone.
Yeah, we were talking prior, to coming live, everybody, and Patty mentioned something about, taking the time prior, the pre-promotion and marketing, and how important that is. And this is something, Patty, I've been talking to the co-authors of the book that we're doing that's coming out in December. And I said, don't wait to December 29th, or don't wait to the day before. And so we're actually, I'm showing them how to do newspaper templates, press releases, video interviews are going to be coming up, and media trailers to start, getting those out. So these are some of the things that you're talking about, like doing it ahead of time.
Well, I think that every single thing you do, you should be creating buzz about it, so people are excited about it. So to create buzz, you need to be talking about it before, during, and after. So when you think about it, we'll just use your book since it's what we're talking about, so we can just use that as an example. People should be talking about it before. How exciting, what the topic is, how exciting they are, thinking about who our promotional partners could be, or who are the promotional partners that would want to be able to promote the book. I have done it for several people when they serve my right fit client. That is my market. And when it's my market and they say to me, oh, Patty, would you love to be a promotional partner? If it's the right fit, I would love to. I always want to be providing value to my audience. It doesn't mean I have to create that value every single time, but I want to be serving them, right? That is how you serve, not sell. And so to be a promotional partner for someone or something that serves your audience, that's when you're really doing something of value. And that's how you position yourself in the marketplace so that you're seen everywhere. When people say, oh, I see you everywhere, it doesn't necessarily have to mean you were everywhere. It means that you were promoting promotional partners. You were doing other things, but you are getting seen. It does help you to increase your influence, your reach, right? Your visibility. Those things are super, super important. And you can do it by just knowing how to leverage.
And Patty, sometimes I find when I'm working with people, in business, they're starting businesses and stuff, they only want to tell their friends. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's really great, but are all your friends going to be the ones that are going to buy from you? I mean, like your friends and your family, those are the people, yes, those are the people who will buy anything right from you, no matter what, right? But to go into the marketplace, that's a whole nother story. You better have your pricing strategy correctly. You better know how to position yourself in the marketplace. You better know how to promote yourself effectively. All those things are the difference between making 5 figures and 6 figures, or 6 figures and 7 figures. It makes a big difference. Leverage is the number one thing, if you do it effectively, that will increase your bottom line bigger than anything else you've ever done. And it isn't really all that much more work. It's thinking about what you're doing before you do it and deciding how you're going to leverage it.
So for example, I know you work with clients, I do, about pre-promoting, like we're talking. Christine, who's on here, is releasing a brand new course to learn French. Other clients are opening up wellness spas and stuff. I always think about, like you're saying, pre-promoting and even creating packages for people to stimulate your finances, your bank account, stimulate the excitement, offer something special to those new people coming in so that they say, yeah, I want to try this service. What do you think about that? And what other suggestions might you have?
Well, I think, first of all, you need to think about time. because there is a formula, whether people realize it or not, that says for an amount of time that you spend with someone, what the value of that time is. So for example, I see people who will talk for 15 minutes and then think they should be able to sell somebody something for $5,000. That's not going to work. Right. And maybe just some freak time it will, but that's because that person was already looking. Right. So that doesn't always happen. So you need to make sure that you're thinking about how much time and how much value. If somebody isn't buying, it's because one of two things: the price isn't right, or you haven't exceeded the value yet of what they believe is worth that price. So you're always got to be thinking about value first. Pricing, there's actually a system to being able to price. I consider myself a pricing strategist. I do it very well for my clients and for myself. But the thing is, it's all about value, right? It cracks me up sometimes when I see people say, oh, I'm going to do this and this is the price. I don't even know. I'll say, where'd you get that price? Oh, I don't know. It just sounded good. Really? Like, why would you pick that? Right? So really, honestly, you need to know why you're doing something and it always starts with value.
And
so
I've been following you, I've been learning that. And I've heard it before, but I'm realizing the value of it even more as you get deeper and deeper into your businesses. So for those of you out there that have questions, please drop them down, because Patty is here to help us, okay? And Christine says, crafting value, this is so hard. So maybe you can give some tips on how to make that easy. Because when I watch you and other very successful entrepreneurs, I see them do a breakdown so that people understand exactly what they're getting for their money. Is that what you're talking about?
No. And emphatically, no. And here's why. Because what a lot of people want to do is they want to talk about features. It's like if you're going to hire a coach. If you decide that your business, that you need a business coach, and everybody should, right? Even coaches have coaches.
That's right.
But the thing is, if you decide that you need some help, right? Does it really matter to you? It cracks me up when I see this, when people talk about, oh, we're going to meet once a week for an hour and we're going to, who cares? Those are details, right? People make their decision emotionally. They make the decision that this is something they need. They have a problem. What happens is when you're talking to your target market, right? You think, oh, they have a problem, I have a solution. That's what target market means. I like to go a lot deeper than that. And I think that we should be talking to our target buyer, which what that means is that they have a problem, you have a solution, but they're actively looking for the solution, which makes all the difference. So what you need to be talking about is, what are the results? It's like when people talk about themselves, I'm a this, with all their titles and their alphabet soup. That's great. It does give you some credibility. But the only thing people really want to know is, if I hire you, what's the results I am going to get in my business? It's never about us. It's always about them. Comes back to service again. So when you're thinking about providing value, you need to be talking in statements that are what they are going to get. What's the results that they are going to get? Not the features that it's twice a month and it's an hour and it's this. Those are details. Mm-hmm. You can talk about that after they decide that you're the right person for them and this is what they want to do. Forget the little details and start thinking about the value you're going to bring them, what the results they're going to get. That's what they want to know.
So everybody listening, do you hear that? People make decisions emotionally. Got a question? Drop it below. I want to.
And can I say one more thing? They make their decisions emotionally. However, they justify writing the check with data. So you do have to have both, right? You do have to have both, but one comes before the other every time.
So Christine says, and I would love to say this in French, Christine, and maybe someday, that's totally right. And when coaching, I never talk about myself. It's about we stimulate in each other. So Christine, comment dit-on? So the reason I'm coaching with Christine wasn't because she was offering an online French class. I have studied French for 5 years, way long time ago. And the emotional part for me, Patty, was that I never had anybody to speak French with because everybody else was studying Spanish. So for years, I could read it a little bit. I may be able to, understand, but I couldn't speak it. Well, when I met Christine on Facebook Live and I saw her, doing her stuff here, I thought, I need to get to feel this woman out. And she is an emotional connector. One, she's excited about getting people out of their head to speak and to converse with people. And so I'm listening to her and I'm going, can she really do that? But here's what happened. We got on a Zoom one-to-one call, and she connected with me emotionally. She felt my pain in not being able to speak French after studying so many years, that it brought up a lot of emotion to me. Now, I can say that I was like, ooh, a little skeptical, because we all get skeptical when buying something, right? Like you said, then you got to write the check. But I really felt, based on some stories, including her own husband, that felt intimidated sometimes. That's how I felt. I felt intimidated trying to have a conversation. And she really listened to me, used the words that I was projecting out in my conversation with her, and really reassured me.
I think you need to have Christine on the show.
Christine, we need to come back. Well, yeah, we'll do that too. Maybe we'll do it in French. So she's been helping me. And even, as a coach, I've shared with her, people think, oh, Gloria, you know how to do things. You're smart, this, that, you're a leader. But you know what? I have my own insecurities too. And I think that comes up in business on both ends, both being the coach, in doing things, sometimes being the one who has to sell it, being the person who's buying, all of that. We all have that dynamics. And so when you said it's about personal relationship, I absolutely agree 100%. And that's who you want to work with.
Absolutely.
So, Micaela, I hope I'm saying your name right. I love the hand drill analogy. A woman goes to buy a hand drill. What does she want? Not a drill. She wants a hole.
Exactly. Right. And that's what you pay for too. That same analogy they say all the time is that, what am I paying for? You're not paying for where they tell you to hit the pipe, right? The plumber. You're paying for the knowledge that he had in telling you exactly the right place that he knew. So that's the thing, you want to work with an expert, but how are people going to know you're an expert unless you're out there? So you really need to be able to share with people, let them understand that, are you the right person? Because there's none of us that do something that there isn't, at least 10, 20, 50, 100 other people that do it too. Right. You're not trying to reinvent ice cream. You're just trying to have your own flavor, right? Some people like Rocky Road, some people like butter pecan. But when you're leveraging yourself, you need to be able to know that part of leveraging isn't just leveraging what you do, it's leveraging what you do with others in front of another audience that will find value in what you do.
And Christine just said, right now you're teaching me here. So her listening to one of her own students is giving her an example of why I chose her. So these conversations are really good, Patty. And you wrote that it's your mission to be so busy loving the life you designed that you have no time for regret. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Worry, hate, or fear. So I love that mission. And I love that you're doing this for people. And we've got a few moments to wrap this up. So if there's any questions, okay, we have a question coming in. Is it easy to be face-to-face? So how do you help someone who can convert but who can't advertise?
Well, there's so many ways nowadays, just like in this Facebook Live right here, where you can. And I totally get that, because that was the hardest thing I learned to convert. That was really my thing too. It was easy for me to convert face-to-face. It was easy for me to do it when people would get to touch you and feel you, right? That was so much easier. And in the beginning, I thought, oh, how do I do that without being face-to-face, right? And part of that is knowing how to speak in your own voice, right? So that you're not trying to use marketing words, that you're actually speaking in your own voice. And two, it is so easy now to be in front of somebody that you don't have to be face-to-face. In Facebook Lives, doing podcast interviews, right? There's so many different ways just talking to people. I think one of the things that works really easy for people who this is a little bit harder for them is to write a list of 10 questions you get asked all the time, over and over again. And then just do like a 1 minute, 2 minute video about them and answer those questions. The first thing I did to get myself on video was I do these quotes of the day every day. And what I would do, my coach said, Patty, I want you to just videotape yourself every day saying what your quote of the day is, but more importantly than that, expressing why did you choose that one. And so I did these behind the quote of the day, right? What was behind it? Why did I choose it? They were really, really little, but you could see the passion and how excited I was about why I did it. And it became so much easier. And then people do get a chance to see you, right?
And that's where I picked this out on your quote of the day. So if you follow Patty Farmer, you're going to see that every day she has a quote. Sometimes it's her own, sometimes it's somebody else. but she is keeping herself visible. And in the morning, guess what's popping up on my Facebook? You, young lady.
That's the 5 a.m. club. I'm part of the 5 a.m. club. That's my book. Not my book, but it's one of my favorite books, which is the 5 a.m. club by Robin Sharma. Really, honestly, that book has changed my life. So you get up at 5 a.m., you get all these things done. I always like to say I get more done by 10 a.m. than most people do in a whole day.
So what do you feel is the number one way a business owner or an entrepreneur could actually leverage to get massive results? Is there something else other than what you've said? You got another little tip?
I would say that the number one thing is to really, it's almost like cloning yourself, right? So what else, where could I be? What else could I do in front of audiences that are my right fit audience that I could get in front of them by giving value? So that could be in a Facebook group. Reach out to organizers of Facebook groups if they're your right fit and you don't do the same thing. And you should be interviewing each other in your Facebook groups, right? I have thousands and thousands of people in my Facebook group, right? So that's one way you can do it, doing on podcast interviews, doing your own Facebook Lives, doing your own interviews. There's a lot of ways that you can actually do that.
So Christine, yes, we're going to get you on an interview. She's loving this right now. She's loving the connection with all of us brought into this. And Michaela loves your tips, and they're finding it very valuable. So Patty, I really want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and what you love to do, but this is what you love to do. So I appreciate you immensely. And I know that you have a website. I'm going to put it up here, marketingmediamoney.com. Can you tell our audience what they can find there?
Sure. So my website is pattyfarmer.com. Marketingmediamoney.com is my free magazine. So I have a magazine called Marketing Media Money, and it's where I pull in all kinds of other global influencers and industry experts to come in and write for my magazine so that it helps everybody else. This is a great way that people can connect and get the information. Somebody's asking for my Facebook link. No problem. You can find me everywhere at Patty Farmer. So it's Patty Farmer CEO. That's my Facebook.
There you go, Patty. I'm going to type that in here. Patty Farmer CEO. Yeah, Patty is literally
Patty.
Party Patty, right? Party. I'm saying it again. Patty Farmer. There we go. Did I get that right after all this partying?
Absolutely.
We're doing here? Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, so Christine says she is signing up for the magazine. It sounds perfect. So awesome. Patty, you have any last comments, tips for our audience before we say au revoir?
I would just say that the thing that I would just want people to realize is that just like content, creating, curating, repurposing, think about everything you do. How can you leverage it before, during, and after? Very, very important to do that. And the last thing I would say is strive to be a people connector, not just a business card collector. Every one of those people you meet, you should be able to connect them to somebody else, and that will increase your influence.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I learned about 30 years ago at a business networking meeting for women, because I noticed a lot of people collect those business cards, but they do nothing with them. I like to write people a personal email after I get their business card saying, thank you for, introducing you. I invite people on my shows, things like that. How can I serve you? And recently I was at the world's greatest motivator event in California. And there was a gentleman called David Meltzer, who's a very successful entrepreneur. I don't know if you know of him, Patty, but you all can go get his free book, because this is one of the things on the show he said. And what he taught me was ask for help and ask others how you can help them. And that builds the relationship. Yeah. So his book is Connected Goodness, and he actually will send that to anybody free, Patty. I mean, this is amazing. This man just wants to serve. He's in that position to serve. And if you mention my name, he'll ship it free too. So see, he is a man of service. He's a servant leader, and he's building connections like that. And one of the things that I love, Patty, you mentioned LinkedIn, Instagram. He will do these 1-minute videos on Instagram. What do you think about those?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. And how do you use LinkedIn best? Because that's the one I think that trips a lot of us up.
For me, the thing that I love using LinkedIn for is I love using it to get speaking engagements and podcast interviews. Those are the things I use. I love Twitter for lead generation. Twitter is my favorite social media platform.
Really?
And where I get 74% of my closed business.
Wow. Now, I would have never thought that with Twitter. How did
That could be a whole nother interview.
Yeah, maybe we need to do that on all these different social media platforms. But in the meantime, I really want to thank you for all your wonderful tips. You've given me some ideas, refreshed some ideas. Christine, Michaelo, everybody that's watching this, or if you're on the replay, hit pound replay. And remember to keep coming in and asking questions, because Patty will check it out. And we're going to upload this to YouTube so that you have these tips in the future as well. And you can share them with the people that you know and also help them be successful in their business. So, Patty, thank you so much. Our marketing and media strategist and expert, an international renowned one who is a superstar. I really appreciate you taking the time. We have a couple more comments in here. Let's see what they say. Oh, Jacqueline says Twitter is awesome. Jacqueline, you're going to have to teach me how to use that. And Christine's like, yes, please, more. And Jacqueline also loves LinkedIn. So thank you, everybody, for your comments, for your love, for your questions. Remember, people make decisions emotionally. That was a really good tip that we got from our wonderful strategists here. And you can find Patty Farmer CEO all over Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
thank you for having me.
Thank you. We're going to say goodbye to Patty, everybody, as I close this and wrap it up, okay? So thank you for joining me on Desire to Inspire. You guys know that it is something that I love to do in life, is to help you, to help yourself, help others, and spread this out into the world. And I'm sincere about that, because you see that I do love to bring people that can educate you, that can inspire you, that can give you tips to be successful in your life. So thank you, everybody, from the bottom of my heart, and have a beautiful day.